Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Another night with Ping. How is everyone in the chat? I see people in there. Laurie Go Cowboys was here. The Thoris was here. Hey, the Thoris, how are you? She says, great news that Danielle was found safe. Yep, it seems to be good news. Laurie Go Cowboy says, yes, she agrees. Woos and Laura T is here. Mary L. Hey, Mary L. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you have been okay. James Avery is here. Hey, James Avery. And Beth B. Hey, my dear, how are you? Robin Lane is here, and Marlene Clausen, Lynn D. Nancy S. How are you? Sienna, my friend Sienna is here. Everyone's here. Well, we have good news for once. Good news. For once in our lives in true crime, it's not like, hey, they found a body. It's actually some decent news in true crime. Danielle has been found safe around 2:30 a.m. in the morning yesterday. They found her and they were able to reunite her with her family. We're going to go over the details in a minute. I'm just going to try find the link. Uh, we got to make these links easier for poor old Ping. Got to have like a link dictionary. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. There it is. Let's get this set up for the people. Give them what they pay for. All right. Hey guys and girls, coming to you live from Melbourne. A sunny Melbourne today. It's not rainy and drizzly like it was yesterday. Yesterday was a very wintry day down here. Max of like 15. It was kind of cool. And today's sort of the opposite. It's not hot, but it's no longer raining down here. So let's get into it. California mom Danielle Becker Friedland is found safe days after she failed to check into her flight home following 6 weeks at Houston Mental Health Clinic. And if I can get down to the important details, the ones that everyone wants to know, it says here the missing mother was found in Houston 1 week after she disappeared from the airport following a 6 week stay at a mental health clinic. And it says she had just been discharged, yet we know that. It says, we are relieved to say that around 2:30 a.m. last night, with the help of Houston Police Department, we were able to locate Danny, make contact with her, and she is now safe, according to a family statement from KHOU, which is a local paper down there. Let's see if it has anything else. Here we go. Their full statement is, we really, they found it with the help of the LAPD. They said they want to express their deepest gratitude to the Houston community for everything you did to help us find Danny. We were welcomed with open arms and without exception received help, love, and incredible support. They say that we know there are so many more that helped us over the last week, but we wanted to specifically thank Chief Finner, Commanders Vollhalber and Hassig and the Houston Police Department for their tireless work and determination to help find her. They also wanted to thank Impact Houston Church. They said they opened their doors and offered us food and help, and we'll be forever grateful for the assistance your congregation provided. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people in Houston came out to do whatever they could for the family and to get Danny home. It says here, we are so thankful to you all and so many more for helping us during the hardest week of our lives. As we move into the next steps with Danny and the rest of the family, we ask for privacy so we can begin to heal. Thank you, Houston. Um, you'd have to wonder if maybe she's going to go back to the hospital for a little while and maybe stay a couple more weeks and get her mental health right. I wonder if she maybe won't go home for a little while. Seems like she still maybe needs a little bit of help, which I think we can all understand. I don't see anything more about what her plans are next. I think their family's trying to stay pretty private, which that is their right. Just trying to see if I have something about where she's going next. I don't, but that's okay. I mean, it's just nice to have a story for once that doesn't end with woman found in ditch, died via blah blah. It's nice to have a lady come home to her family. So I'm just reading. Yeah, that's it. They just released that statement. I think they would like to get back to a bit of normality now. Yeah, I think that's it. So hopefully she can get the rest of the help she needs and get better. That would be good. She can put this behind her, and it can be a funny antidote they tell at Thanksgiving in 20 years' time that one year mom went missing in Houston for a week. Hey LA, how are you? Marilyn Landis. Catatonic made it. Catatonic, you made it. You made it. You're not part of the replay crew. Misha's here. Hey Misha. And who else? Oh, my friend Amy 007 is here. She is James Bond service weapon Amy. Sean is here. Hey Sean, how are you, buddy? Sean the sheep. It's really funny. I had a friend that called himself that, but I know you guys are the wrong age. It's just weird. Maybe it's a thing Sean's call themselves. I don't know. Uh yeah, Misha says a very happy story-ish. Yeah, it is. It is happy. I like when we can do that. It's nice when we can get someone come home to their family. Now, I heard from our friend DJ earlier today. You guys know DJ. He's always in the chat when he can be. He sent me a couple of links he wanted us to have a look at. I just want to make sure I'm accrediting the right people. I think I am. I'm going to say it's DJ until I otherwise figure it out. Okay, this is really cool. I didn't actually know about this one, but I am so happy that another cold case in the book. It says here, man charged in college student's 1996 cold case murder. And in quotes, it says, we will get some answers. Her mother says, now I will see justice for Deb before I die. What does this say? The media playback was aborted due to corruption problem. A corruption problem? Is he taking bribes? Is the video player taking underneath the table payments? All because the media used features your browser did not support. Okay. It says here on August 1996, a 22-year-old college student named Debbie Dorian was found dead in her Fresno County, California apartment, her body bound at the hands and feet with duct tape. The duct tape was also wrapped around her head, covering her mouth, nose, and eyes. The unsolved slaying gripped the community for decades, and on Wednesday, 52-year-old Nikki Stain, I hope that's the right way of pronouncing it, was charged in the sexual assault and murder after authorities implemented the novel investigative technique that caught the suspected Golden State Killer. Oh, we all know what that is. And then her mother says, now we'll get to see justice. That was the quote from before. There's a photo of Debbie. It's a very lovely looking young woman. Died in a very tragic way, in a very awful way. She should have been at college having fun. As the years passed without an arrest, Dorian's mother, investigators, as the years passed without an arrest in Dorian's murder, investigators ran the unknown suspect DNA recovered from the scene through CODIS, a law enforcement database, but there were no hits. In 2002, investigators in Fresno learned the DNA recovered from Dorian's case was matched to a sex assault case in Visalia, California, but Visalia authorities did not have a suspect named. There's the guy that was arrested, a photo of him. In 2009, Tulare County prosecutors said they filed a John Doe complaint against the DNA profile of the unknown suspect, accusing him in multiple sexual assaults in the late 1990s and early 2000s. The break in the case finally came when investigators in 2018 decided to use a novel technique of genetic genealogy. Genetic genealogy compares DNA evidence from a crime scene to public genealogy databases, which are populated by the DNA of family members who voluntarily upload their DNA. Genetic genealogy has been called a game changer in cracking cold cases since the arrest of the suspected Golden State Killer in April 2018. It says so far about 100 suspects have been identified through the technology, according to Parabon Nanolabs, CC Moore. That's what she reckons. Investigators have now matched Stain's DNA to the Visalia sexual assaults and Dorian's murder, prosecutors have said. Uh, the accused is from the same area, faces charges including murder, kidnapping, rape, and sodomy. He could face a death penalty if convicted of all charges, prosecutors have said. Um, it says here during the 23 years of waiting and searching, there have been so many people waiting and praying to solve Deb's case, Logan said, expressing how thankful they are doesn't touch the depth of my gratitude. I think the family is very happy to have some sort of answers to what happened to their daughter. I mean, that must be the hardest part, knowing that someone hurt your family member, but then not knowing who it is and why they're still out in the public roaming around. Logan said she doesn't have closure, but the arrest does end her struggle to always be searching. She says, we will get some answers now and probably hear things we don't want to hear, but we will honor our precious, beautiful daughter and see this through. Staines' arraignment is set for February 6, prosecutors said. The Tulare County allegations will be prosecuted in one trial in Fresno County. His public defender declined to comment to ABC News. I think if we reflash this, we might get a video we can play. We will, if it wants to be our friend.
After 23 years, 5 months, and 7 days, an arrest is about to be made for the murder of 22-year-old Fresno State co-ed Debbie Dorian. It has been a long up and down journey, but the process of bringing justice for Debbie and her family has begun.
A DNA sample was obtained, as you heard, in August of 2000, yet the name and the identity and the location of that perpetrator remained anonymous for years. We now know the identity and the location of that perpetrator was hiding in plain sight in our city all along. Genetic advancements were the best and most effective investigative lead we've had in over 20 years.
The same profile for the Debbie Dorian sample was the same person, the same DNA profile that was collected in the cases in Tulare County. For that time period, we knew that the same person had committed the crimes based on the DNA. The identity of that person was not known until the technology improved. We were able to confirm, in fact, through surveillance and police work and other information and investigative techniques, that in fact the person who belonged to the DNA profile from the 1996 murder and the cases in 1999 to 2002 belonged to Nikki Stain. The defendant, Nikki Stain, is currently in the custody of the Tulare County Sheriff in the Tulare County Jail.
Our darkest days in the battle against COVID are ahead of us, not behind us.
It's called the COVID relief bill.
Whoa, what happened there? We ended up with some political stuff. It's trying to punk us. We don't need that on this channel. We don't need any of that rubbish. LA says, I'm going to chill and listen now. Long day. I modded for Crime Talk. I have no idea what that is. Worked all day. All right. Have fun. All right. Sorry. People are messaging. They always want to message me. Hey, Alexandra. Oh, it's Insightful One's daughter. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Happy to meet another Niner fan anytime. Yeah, go Niners this weekend against the Eagles. I'm very happy to see that game from last year. It's very nice to meet you, Insightful One's daughter. Let's see what's going on in the chat. That's all right. I'm happy to have her here. That's all good. All right. I'm really happy with that. Anytime we can get another strike with the genealogy is just proof that it's a great technology for solving cold cases. I mean, we've seen hundreds of cold cases solved in the last 4 to 5 years using that technology, and I think it's only going to speed up as we get better at it. The more people put information into the databases and more people find out about it, it's just going to get like a giant spider web, and eventually there's not going to be a thing called cold cases. We're going to be able to use these type of databases to solve crimes very quickly. And I think the days of having things like, oh, there was a cold case 50 years ago, are probably going to quickly come to an end. We're not going to see that anymore. Danny Mitchell says, wait, there's two of you? I think one is her daughter, Danny Mitchell. Hold on. Hey, Peekaboo Cockatiel. How are you, my dear? Hope you are feeling better. Amy at 007 says, wonderful news. You can run, but you cannot hide. Exactly. And I think, especially with police departments now, investing money into their mapping technologies and like AI and putting systems all together in one place rather than having separated systems for different things as they used to have, I think it's going to get a lot harder to get away with things. And the other one is you, Ping. Okay, that's scary. I don't think there's two of me. There shouldn't be. If there's two of me, we have a problem. Someone broke the portal. We must fix it. Okay. Marilyn Lander says, the wheels of justice can be slow. All right, guys, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Someone keeps calling me. Insightful1 said, what is a crowl? I don't think anyone knows what that is. You'll have to ask Mr. Floating Head what a cowl is. Is that like a thing that knights used to wear over their head? Like a headdress thing? All right, let's get to our next story. The people come here for stories. They don't come here for chit-chat. Jeez, stop calling. Let's get the next story. You know, I haven't heard much about that woman. Remember that woman we were talking about in the lake a couple of weeks ago? Not much updates about her. That's really sad. I was hoping we might have heard more about her body or something like that. You know, finding her, that would have been nice. There's a story out of Michigan about a woman who they think they found her body of a missing woman. Police believe they have found the body of Kelly McWhirter, the Genesee County woman murdered by her husband. There's a photo of the people involved. It says here, police believe they have found the body of Kelly, the Genesee County woman who went missing more than a month ago. Authorities believe she was killed by her husband, 57-year-old Stephen Higgins, who fatally shot her in the head when confronted by police. Who fatally shot himself in the head, not her. Fatally shot himself in the head when confronted by police on October 18th at his home in Montrose in the days after her disappearance. I feel like we watched that video of the police body cam. On Wednesday, Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson, hey, we know him from, you know, the guy who does Chris Hansen? Isn't that the sheriff that he's friends with? Chris Swanson? I'm pretty sure. Says here, hold on, let me check if that's the same sheriff. Yeah, it is. Same guy. That's Chris Hansen's friend. Okay. Says Chris Swanson said police found a badly decomposed body in St. Charles, Michigan, about 15 miles southwest of Saginaw. While officials are still working to identify the body with DNA and dental tests, which will take several days, Swanson said he believes the discovery closes the chapter. Around 1:20 p.m. Wednesday, a 911 call came in from a hunter who was training his bird dog in the area. The hunter told police the dog indicated a badly decomposed body. Wow. We believe that the body is one of Kelly McWhirter. There was significant trauma to the body. There were clothing matches that indicate the last known that Kelly had on October 14th. It says here McWhirter and Higgins were both initially reported missing in mid-October, but the case soon took a grim turn in what Swanson calls domestic violence at its highest level. He says, when we started this on Monday of this week, It was, "Where is Kelly?" She didn't report to work. She didn't call friends back. We couldn't find her phone when we went to the house, and we saw things that were undisturbed but unusual. Authorities eventually got multiple search warrants and found a significant amount of blood in both the home and in the back of her car. The next day, Higgins killed himself during an encounter with police, who then found a number of shovels, fresh dirt, and a bloody body bag. Officials said last month they suspected the murder weapon had been recovered, but they did not specify what it was. Earlier this month, Swanson called on hunters to be on the lookout for McWhirter's body as they took to the fields on opening day of firearm deer season. At the time, investigators were focused on an area near Prescott, Michigan, a small town near West Branch. That's very sad in a number of ways, but I guess they found her eventually. There is a little bit of a snippet here. I don't know if this is a video or an audio file. Let's see. Let's play the game. Audio or video? Or nothing. It's buffering.
It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month here in Michigan and across the country. According to Brady, a gun reform group,
out that dignity and respect of a spouse or.
All right, it's just a show on DV. Not that that's a bad thing, but let's see what this one says.
In just 10 minutes a day, Daily J immerses you 5/7 for it's WWJ now on WWJ.
It's an update to a story we've been reporting on for the past few weeks. The body of a Flint area woman who was murdered by her husband has been found southwest of Saginaw. WWJ's Luke Sloan joins us live with more details. Luke?
Good evening, Tony. Back in mid-October, 60-year-old Kelly McWhirter of Flushing was murdered by her husband, Stephen Higgins, but her body was missing. Now, Tony, for weeks, investigators have searched for her body, and that search was massive, stretching from Ohio all the way to northern Michigan, and it appears this afternoon they have now found the body of 60-year-old Kelly McWhirter. Here's Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson.
Approximately 1:20 p.m., a 911 call came in from a hunter who was training his bird dog in the area of St. Charles, Michigan, which is in Saginaw County. Ryan Road, just a little bit east of Shannon Road. The dog indicated what was to be found a badly decomposed body. Now, when we dispatched to that area, we believe that that body is one of Kelly McWhirter.
Now, Tony Swanson says dental records will be used to determine if that body is McWhirter. Now, Stephen Higgins, her husband, he killed himself when confronted by police just days after she was murdered. Reporting live, Luke Sloan, WWJ News Radio 950.
There you go. A very sad end to a sad case, I guess. That was from WWJAM or WWJAM radio, I guess. That's what it would probably be. I will leave the link in the description, but I guess this guy got his wish and took them both from this world in very violent fashion. Awful. Need to do more about domestic violence in general. It's happening far too much and we're losing far too many people. Hey, Red Like Wine. What does Red Like Wine have to say? Red Like Wine says, "Hi, Ping and everyone. I finally discovered why I don't get notifications. I was subscribed, but notifications were somehow set on personalized and not all. Anyway, sorry I'm late. This is why we always tell people to check the bell and make sure it's on all and not the other one, because unfortunately it'll only give you notifications every so often, not every time I go live. So I appreciate people checking, and make sure you are subscribed. We had a weird thing last week where 20 people were unsubscribed on the same day, and I asked a few of them and none of them actually unsubscribed. They just got here and they weren't subscribed to the channel anymore. So make sure you check and double check. That's if you want to be. You don't have to be. But I appreciate it. Let's have a look. Wu says, I only get notifications when you've already started. Well, make sure you check your settings. Catatonic says your X notification works well. Oh, yes. Every day I put out a message on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Normally about half an hour before. I can show you here. You guys can see I put up a tweet every day. This was at 1:22, about 40 minutes before the show went live. So if you are not subscribed to Twitter, I'll put it in the chat. That way you can get updates if you want to check it out on there. It is better than the ones on YouTube. Sometimes they don't go off. I don't know why they don't post to everyone. It's a weird system. All right. Nanalana says, I do not have X. I think it sounds worse than Twitter, doesn't it? I do not have X. And it sounds like we're all talking about ecstasy. I don't have any X. Insightful One says, my daughter subscribed tonight. I hope it doesn't disappear. Well, thank you to Insightful One and your daughter. I much appreciate it. A Niner fan is always welcome here. And then I'm going to get this next story, and I hope it posts well. Kelly in Texas. Hey, Kelly in Texas. What do you say? So the community post has the same issue as the notifications for the live show. If I post a community message, not everyone gets it. And then if I post too many of them, people get annoyed. They're like, Ping's always sending me notifications. So it's like a double-edged sword, unfortunately. All right. This is not going to work very well, but I'll do my best. For some reason, this website, look, I'm trying to scroll down and read it, and I cannot. Can you see? I'm actually trying to like scroll down. Look, I can do this one. Nope. But when I go like this, you can see there's a whole bunch of writing there. There's a whole bunch of stuff we could be reading, and I cannot scroll down. It's bizarre. It's really weird. But basically it says, cheek swab sample from estranged wife of suspected Gilgo Beach killer Rex Heuermann matches DNA found on victim's remains, sources say. Now give me 1 second. I'm going to try find a backup source for this. But last time I checked, this was the only one, and their website is broken. Look, you can't do anything. All right, give me 1 second. All right, there we go. I found a second link posted only 27 minutes ago. It says a DNA sample taken from the estranged wife of the alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer matches her genetic material that was found on the remains of the victims, law enforcement sources told ABC News. Investigators obtained a cheek swab from Asa Ellerup the night her husband Rex Heuermann was arrested for the murders of 3 women whose remains were found wrapped in burlap in a marshy area near Gilgo Beach on Long Island. Prosecutors have said Ellerup's hairs were found on the burlap, and now sources said the DNA extracted from the hairs matches the cheek swab samples. Prosecutors have cleared Ellerup of any wrongdoing and have said she was out of town at the time of the murders. Heuermann has pleaded not guilty to first and second degree murder charges in the death of Melissa Bartholomew and Amber Costello and Meaga Waterman. He's the prime suspect in the killing of the 4th Gilgo Beach victim, Maureen Barnes. The Suffolk County District Attorney Office has said DNA from Heuermann's cheek swab matched his genetic material found on a pizza box investigators recovered from the trash near his Manhattan office. I think that's great. It's very Golden State Killer. they did something very similar. I can't remember if it was a cigarette butt or a drink can or something, but they also pilfered something he threw away as well and tested it, and it came back as a match, and they cracked one of the most outstanding cold cases ever. And in the last 4 years or 5 years, they have solved two of the most outstanding kind of cold cases that have captured the public's attention, which were the Golden State Killer, which dated back to like the 70s and 80s, and then the Long Island serial killer, which could be dating back to the 90s as well if they can get all their ducks in a row. JDR says, is this over? JDR's telling us it's time to go. All right, guys. Good night, everyone. JDR says we have to go now. Hey, JDR, we're not finished. Why would we be finished? So, Nana Lana, there were some hairs found in the bottom of the burlap sack that they found the remains of a few of the girls in. Her hair was in the bottom, and now they're saying cheek swabs taken from her when her husband was arrested, just DNA match. So it is actually her hair. It's not a guess. It really does belong to her, which I find very interesting. Sean says they posed as a barman to get his DNA. Yeah, very, very clever. I've listened to Paul Holes talk about that timeline a few times, and the way he explains that case is really interesting. If you haven't heard him explain it, you should go listen to him do it. It's really is amazing how far they came in, like, what was it, like 4 or 5 years, and they just took all these leaps and bounds and finally got it done. Danny Mitchell says, you'll want to still feel sorry for cops trashing her house. Look, I feel sorry for her kids, the kids in the situation. I don't know. I think we just don't know enough about their marital situation. I don't think we know enough about any of it to draw any conclusions one way or another. I think we will find out more next year. And I think people should hold their criticism of anyone or their sort of undying love for anyone until we hear the evidence next year. And when we hear it, we can all make up our minds about who was where and did what and had involvement where. Because, there's just, I feel like there's only small bite-sized bits of information that have come out about, especially her, and more so about what he did as well. So let's just hold our horses. But I was having this discussion with someone last night, and I was just a hypothetical question. We were talking about how Asa Elarup got $1 million from Peacock, but then also got a bunch of money from the GoFundMe. And I asked my friend, I said, what would you do in that situation? And they said, it's hard to know. I've never had $1 million. And I said, that's true. I've never had $1 million either. And I said, I don't know what I would do. And then they said, what would you do if you had mounting legal fees that you had to cover? And I was like, well, I would probably try to take care of that first and then see what I had left. And then if I had anything left, I would obviously try to take care of my family. And then I would see what I could do about paying people back for the GoFundMe. But my friend was saying, if you look at that, look how far back that kind of responsibility is on the chain. And I was like, yeah, I know. I said I would probably feel somewhat guilty, but I guess people gave that money to help her, and it was done in good faith. So you just got to take it as that. But yeah, it was a long conversation we had about it last night because we spoke about it on the show yesterday. Insightful says, or if the victim was in Rex's home, they could have gotten her hair on them. Or if they had sex in the marital bed. If they had sex in the marital bed while she was away, who knows what could have got wrapped up in them or where he put the burlap, anything like that. There's a million ways her hair could have got into the burlap or on the victims or anything like that. Amy says, just chill till the next episode. Yep, we'll find out next year, and everyone will know where all the dominoes lay at that time. But right now, I think we get overexcited about oh, they caught him and everyone's guilty and let's just get everyone. But when we find out what the police know, I think we'll all have a clearer idea. Beth B says, I still think she is a victim too. I think if you've got a husband who kills people, very possibly that you are a victim. Who knows what he did to her? Maybe she'd had enough after like 30 years and was like, I ain't going to take your, you know, crazy rough sex and beating me up. If you want to do that, you go find a prostitute to do that with. Maybe that's what happened. Like, we don't know. Because like if he was doing that to sex workers, who knows what he was doing to his wife? So, I mean, it was inherent in his behavior. Many people witnessed it. A lot of people have come forward to say that they've seen him act like that with women. So Insightful One says the hair though is more evidence against Rex though, double DNA connection to his victims. Oh, he's screwed. He's definitely there's no way he can get out of this. I think he's yeah, I think it just took them a long time and having to navigate their way through a couple of different reigns of bad policing to finally get the ship in order to go after him and get it done. And you have to give a lot of credit to, I wish I knew her name, but the female head police officer who came on after the dude who was arrested, and then now this guy that's in power now. Those two very, very much set the ship in the right direction and got everything, back in order, and then could open the investigation again and get going. And those two definitely deserve a lot of credit for making this happen. So, Kenny Mitchell says Rex is screwed for sure. Yeah, very much so. I remember the night it happened, Insightful One and me were on Twitter, and we were just looking at each other going, is this actually happening? Is this some sort of scam? Is someone doing fake news or some sort of crypto scam or something? We just couldn't believe it. We're like, really? And then, because originally they just said, oh, someone's been arrested in connection with the Gilgo Beach murders. And we're like, maybe it's just a suspect or something. And then the news broke that, no, this is going to be the guy. And it was surreal. I'd never been so, taken aback at an arrest. I really thought it would never happen. I thought they would never find the guy. Just because of how long it had been, how much missteps the police had done in the early investigation. I really thought they may have missed their chance at it, but they've done a good job, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it holds up in court next year and they get the convictions they need for those women for real. I think it'd be nice to have the fourth Maureen Barnes. I really hope they can somehow figure that out and get the evidence they need for her, because her family deserves just as much justice as the other three, and possibly more. There's still about, what is it, 7 other victims that they've got to kind of figure out and work out if they're connected or not, or there's a few others that they found. So I don't think even if we get a conviction on these 3 or 4, that the work stops. I think they've got more to do in other places and other women and other victims. So this definitely feels like the first step in unraveling this entire crazy story of what happened to these poor women. So that was a bit of a rant. Sorry about that. I get really, really excited about that particular case. It's been bugging me for years and I've spent a lot of time on it. Let's get you another story. Let's get you another story. All right, I know you guys are talking about this in the chat, so let's talk about this to change the subject. Let's do that. Mr. Potato Head's trial will be live streamed by the court. Brilliant. But then you have to ask, why wasn't Lori Vallow's live streamed by the court? And what makes them different? It says here, the murder trial of Chad Daybell will be broadcast live by the court, an Ohio judge ruled on Wednesday. Daybell is charged with the murder and conspiracy to murder in the death of his first wife, Tammy Daybell, and the two of his second wife's children, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow. Lori Vallow Daybell was tried and convicted on the same charges earlier this year. Judge Stephen Boyce originally barred cameras from the courtroom when Daybell's trial was still joined with that of his wife, as Crime Online reported. The ban remained in place when the trials were severed, and Vallow's Daybell's trial was not broadcast earlier this year. It says here, Daybell's attorney, however, filed a motion to allow the broadcast of proceedings, and they were joined in a hearing on the matter by an attorney representing a coalition of media outlets. I think the other day we read out that entire coalition, and it's like a who's who of media outlets. It's like everyone you could think of, even people I've never heard of, like the Idaho Board of Journalist Reporters or something. I'm like, who is that? Must be some, I don't know, somebody who represents reporters. It says here, prosecutors argued against broadcasting, citing concerns about a tainted jury pool and issues with witness possibly watching live streams. Boyce ruled that the trial would be streamed on the court's website by the court's audio and video equipment. No still cameras will be permitted or any other third-party recording. Boyce also heard arguments on a prosecution motive to move the trial to Ada County, closer to eastern Idaho, where the crimes occurred and their witness and family members live. Prosecutors say the argument that publicity was too strong in Fremont County, where proceedings began, is now true for Ada County, where Vallow Daybell's trial took place. I think they ruled against that, didn't they? Daybell's attorney argued, yeah. So he says, Boyce said he would issue a written ruling after he had reviewed the arguments. Okay. Yeah, so that's good news. I think that's great news that we will actually get to watch this one. It'll sort of be the same as Vallow's, but slightly different. Live stream by the court, yeah. So it'll probably be by their YouTube, like when they did the verdict of Lori. It'll probably be on the same YouTube. That's maybe a good point. JDR says maybe they got so many complaints from the Lori trial that they relented. I feel like it was a misjustice not to have cameras in the Lori trial. I think when the victims asked for that, including the family, they should have done it or found a way to make it happen. Even if it was only for them, like a private login where family that were impacted by the crimes could watch, even if they weren't in the state. I know that means we would have missed out, but at least they would have got their wish. Danny Mitchell says DP. I don't know if Chad's... Did they rule it out for Chad too? Let's have a look. It's been a while since I've looked at this case. They're saying that there is still no ruling on the death penalty for Chad Daybell. So they're still having a look at it. As you can see here. So you don't think Mr. Ping is lying. Still no ruling on death penalty in pending murder trial of Chad Daybell. So we probably won't get a ruling for a bit longer. Maybe next year. What do you guys think? Should he face the death penalty if Lori didn't? Do you think he's more complicit in the killings than Lori was? Or do you think they're equal in their crimes that they committed together and should face the same punishment? Let me know. I would like to know your opinions in the chat on that. As someone who comes from a country that does not have the death penalty, I don't really know what to think about it. Everyone says equal. Okay, that makes sense. Let me put this up. Our friend... Oh my. Hey Moonlight View, how are you? Sean says, The last one I did had theft, kidnapping, R-word, extortion, firearms, assault, and more. Only went on for 3 weeks. Were you picked for jury duty, were you? In Australia? Did you say you went to para court for jury duty? I know where para court is. I used to walk past it every single day. JDR says live stream by the court. They could have done that for the Laurie Daybell case. 100%. I think there was no excuse not to have a court webcam. I think it was a misstep, and I really fully believe that it should have happened. Not just for like our voyeuristic type insight, but I think it should have happened just for clarity. Instead of having these sketches and audio released at 7 p.m. or whatever, like, could have saved everyone a lot of work and a lot of hassle just having that webcam up, even if it was just one view. It didn't even have to be on Laurie. Just it could have been on the judge or something. You know, you could have just heard the audio and had a picture of the judge for the day. Who knows? There's a whole lot of different ways it could have happened. Sean says, yes, I'm meant to be in an 8-week case right now. Oh. Catatonic says, I'm not sure about the death penalty either, being Australian. It's a foreign concept for us Australians because we don't have it here. So for us, it seems like a good thing for certain things, and then we're not sure how you apply it. And then if you don't apply it evenly to everyone, how do you make it fair? Like, that's the kind of head circle I get into about the DP. It's like, well, some crimes are more heinous than others, and this and that, and how do you apply it evenly? What if the person ends up being innocent? And so for us, it's not a great thing to talk about. Danny Mitchell says, we are familiar in Texas. Ah, I bet you are. Hey, Tubroke, how are you, my friend? Tubroke says, hi, everyone. Got here late. I have no stand on the death penalty, but it is a negotiation chip. As Blake said, it will be reviewed on appeal with the Supreme Court. I am Canadian. We don't have it here. Thanks, Tubroke. I appreciate it. Just trying to get through everyone's comments before we move on. Beth B says, it is strictly up to each judge. Yes, it is, my friend. It is. I know it is, but I feel like we're moving towards a point where, unless it's like a child case, it should almost be like a standard thing to have, if that makes sense. Like, the technology exists now. Courtrooms have always been open to the public. We live in an age now where the technology to do live streaming is quite simple. And yeah, I mean, it should be open. We can witness justice for certain things, and even for like a traffic ticket, you know. They even made a show about it. What's that show called with that judge? Not Judge Judy. There's a guy, old Italian guy, who does traffic tickets in Virginia or something. Do you guys know the show I'm talking about? Court in Providence, is that it? I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. There's this show with like an old Italian judge, and it's basically a like a traffic court, and he basically deals with people's minor problems. But you know what I mean? They made a TV show out of it. They can live stream a normal court, right? No clue. You guys haven't seen it? I thought it was an American show. You guys have no idea? You guys haven't seen this show? It's called Court in Providence. Hold on. I'll show you guys. Hold on. This guy? This guy's on. I've seen this guy on TV. This Judge Caprio. I'm surprised he has a YouTube channel, and I think he got fired though earlier this year. Something to do with his brother owns a production company who made the TV show, and it was some sort of conflict of interest because paying for the TV show came from court funds or something like that. So the state was upset that they were paying a judge to be in a TV show. So I think they they made him retire. I'm not sure if there's any more new episodes, but Jojo says yes, and so kind. Yeah, he's a very kind man. He's a very fair guy. I like how he had that. He used to have like a fund where viewers had sent in money to help out less fortunate people pay their tickets off or whatever. And he had a fund named after his mum, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, I think the TV show got cancelled earlier this year. What's the court TV channels over in the States? There's Court TV and Law and Crime Network. I think if you watch Court TV outside of 9 to 5, he's on it quite a bit. I think they show his show like at least a couple of times a day if you watch Court TV. Marlene Clausen is here. Hey, Marlene. Marlene says, often the death penalty will not even be brought up because often juries do not like to give it to convicts. That's a very interesting insight, Marlene. Thank you. Nancy S. Hello, my dear. Nancy S. is my new overseas girlfriend, aren't you, Nancy? Nancy says, I think I've seen a couple of shorts with him in it. You think you've seen him in his shorts? Oh, you're a devilish lady looking at men in their shorts. Jojo says, I've seen him on YouTube. Nana Lana says, oh yes, I've seen that guy. Yeah, he's a quite a cool guy. All right. No more chatty. Let's talk about more true crime. What is this? Jonathan Stockel and Penny Lyles. Who sent me that? Someone just sent me a thing about two kids that are Romeo and Juliet or something. Hold on.
News 12. Well, the parents of two missing Oregon teens with ties to Orange County are speaking tonight with News 12 as the nationwide search for this young couple grows. Blaise Gomez was the first to report on their disappearance. She's got the latest.
Teenagers Jonathan Stockel and his girlfriend Penny Lyles have been missing in Oregon for more than a week.
I want my daughter back. That's all I want.
Penny's dad, Ryan, says the young couple, who were 18 and 15 years old, disappeared last Tuesday from school after they found out he planned to confront them about alleged drug use. Ryan says the teens, who both live with him in Oregon, were afraid they'd be separated and called police to the school before they took off.
All Penny would say is she's scared, but I'm scared of losing Jonathan.
Jonathan's mom, who's originally from Goshen, and his dad say they believe the kids ran away because they're afraid of Ryan and allege there's a history of abuse. They feel their son is in danger and say when they talked to him last Tuesday, he was running from people.
Dad, don't call me. They're going to find me and kill me.
The last thing I heard from my son was, Mommy, I'm scared.
Police in Oregon haven't said the teens are in danger or that they were allegedly abused. They did issue this missing persons flyer and updated it after our first report on the case to say that Jonathan, who is legally considered an adult, is not in trouble.
If you could say anything right now, Ryan, what would you say?
Just come home, Penny, and you know everything's going to be okay.
Blaise Gomez, News 12.
Well, a rally for the Teen Safe Return is being held tonight by Jonathan's parents in their hometown in Missouri. Authorities in Oregon have not returned our calls for more information. County are speaking.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This thing up here was like biting my hand a second ago. Look, see? All right, cute boy. What's wrong? What's wrong? You a smoocher. He wants a scratch. It is very sad. I never heard of this and someone just PM'd it to me. Let's have a look about what's going on. It says here that Jonathan Stockel and Penny Lyles have been missing from Oregon for more than a week. That's a long time for such two young kids. Her father says, I just want my daughter back, that's all. Ryan Lyles says the young couple disappeared November 14th from school after they found out that he had planned to confront them about alleged drug use. He said he found out that Penny had been sneaking out and doing all this stuff. I texted Penny to come straight home after school. because they would sometimes go drive around and get lunch. What time does school finish if they're going to get lunch? Ryan Lyle said the teens who both lived with him in Oregon were afraid they'd be separated from each other and called police to the school before they took off. All Penny would say is that I'm scared, but that I'm scared to lose Jonathan, not scared that my dad is going to hurt me. Ryan Lyle showed News 12 text messages between him and both teens that day. In one text, it says, "We love one another and are really scared." Ryan replies, "So much you tried to lie and get me put in jail. Fuck you. You're a man. You have my kid. I'm looking for you. I don't care anymore." Sorry about the swear word. I was reading off the screen. Okay. I don't think challenging them is the right approach, right? I think that's the wrong way to go about it. When you're dealing with like this young love, like this type of like a young couple who don't want to be split up or whatever, the last thing you want to do is try and challenge them, because that's all that's going to do is push them away. I mean, they're gonna think it's them against the world. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna go into that kind of mindset where it's them against everyone else, and that's not what you want to do. You want to try to be supportive and try bring them back. I mean, I'm not judging her dad or whatever. He can do, it's his kid, right? He can do whatever he wants. But knowing I've been in that situation with a girl before, anytime a parent challenges you, the first thing you want to do is go up against them or run away. And I think my memories from that time was like, anytime we had a supportive family member, we went there because we're kids. We don't have any money or anything. So we always went to the family members who showed support. So maybe that's the way they could get them to come home. Hey, Leisha, how are you? Yeah, hopefully they can just get home. I mean, when you're that young, you don't see past like a month. You know what I mean? As adults, we can see like a year into the future, if you know what I mean. But when you're that young, a week or two sounds like forever, or a month is hard to envision. But for us, we're like, the years keep rolling past. For these kids, they think a month is the entire life, and so I hope it can be resolved quickly and bring them home. What's wrong, buddy? I don't know. Muff hears something. What do you hear, buddy? Nothing? Okay. He hears nothing. Misha says, no way they should be living together. I don't think anyone's saying they should, but Wu says she's so young, only 15, right? They're quite young, right? That's what I mean. You don't want them running off to a city or something and trying to start a life together. I mean, they got to just get them home. Let's see if we can find more information about him. They say they could be in a car, a Toyota RAV4 with an Oregon plate number 547HRL. Anyone with information is urged to contact the Sheriff's Office at 503-325-2061. It says, in the meantime, Jonathan's parents are holding a rally for their safe return Wednesday night, where they live in Thayer, Missouri, where the teens met after the Lyles temporarily moved there, and have started a hashtag for the teens. We love you, Jonathan and Penny. Okay. They started a hashtag. Let's have a look. I like when people start hashtags. Let's see what it says on here. Come on. It says, there's no results for We Love You, Jonathan and Penny. No, there isn't. What the hell? That's what it says, right? Am I going crazy? No, it says right here, guys. Look. And they have started a hashtag for the teens. Maybe it's on Instagram, not Twitter. Maybe that's where it is. Because it says, we love you. And when I searched it, it had nothing there. I will show you. See? It has nothing there for the results. And you go to top, Nothing there. No results. So it's not on Twitter, if that's what they were trying to accomplish. Yeah, it's very sad. Let's have a look. Is there another story?
Missing teenagers with ties to Orange County after they were found by police in Nevada over the weekend, but they got away. Our Blaze
Nevada?
Gomez brings us the latest.
Penny and Jonathan have been on the run from Oregon for 2 weeks.
These kids are begging for help and nobody's helping.
Jonathan's parents say the young couple, who are 18 and 15, are afraid of Penny's father, who they allege is abusive. Oregon police haven't said that, but wrote on Facebook that the teens left mid-November after a confrontation with family and were found out of state on Friday. The couple live with Penny's dad and go to high school together. Jonathan's family, who's from Goshen but now live in Missouri, say the teens were spotted in California and then found by police in Nevada.
Jonathan was free to go, but Jonathan said he wasn't going to leave until Penny was in a safe place.
Oregon authorities said online that Penny was being transported by Children's Services when she got away and is believed to be with Jonathan again.
In his heart of hearts, he's doing what's right.
Jonathan's family say Penny's dad, Ryan Lyles, is threatening to hurt Jonathan and their family. They gave us these messages.
Wait, she what? She jumped out of a car? Like she escaped from child services? What the? Hold on.
And then found by police in Nevada.
Jonathan was free to go, but Jonathan said he wasn't going to leave until Penny was in a safe place.
Oregon authorities said online that Penny was being transported by Children's Services when she got away and is believed to be with Jonathan again.
How did they get away? What did they do? Do some sort of like jailbreak and got a file into a cake and then like cut their way out and I don't know. Right, that's really weird. They're not like some sort of MacGyver. They're two children. I find that amazing that they were able to do that. It's really, really interesting. That was a day ago, apparently, this update. Says updated 1 day ago. They really got around, didn't they? They were found briefly in Nevada, according to law enforcement. Penny Lyles escaped the custody of the Division of Child and Family Services in Nevada during a transport. Yeah, so like she jumped out of a car or something. They said these kids are begging for help and nobody is doing anything. If we could get Penny into a safe place, this would be over tomorrow. The Clatsop County Sheriff's Office has not substantiated the family's allegations of abuse against Ryan. News 12 has attempted to contact them multiple times, but calls have not been returned. The department wrote on Facebook that Penny Lyles and Jonathan Stockel left mid-November after a confrontation with family. They're saying that Jonathan, who is legally an adult, is not in trouble. Wait, if he's legally an adult and he took her across state lines, couldn't he be charged with taking a minor across state lines if he isn't legally an adult? That's interesting. I wonder why they're saying he can't be in trouble. Just trying to see if I find a way how she got out of the transport. It doesn't say. No, I don't see how she got out of the It says here, the Stockels say that the couple said they've been doing odd jobs for people they meet for money to get by, like raking leaves and moving furniture, but believe they may be living out of Jonathan's car. A message to them while they're out there, they say, "We love you guys. Just keep reaching out to somebody for help. Someone will help." That's true. Keep reaching out. Very interesting. I hope they make it to somewhere, even if it's not back home, but to someone who can keep them safe. and then they can figure out all the family drama and all that kind of stuff. Insightful One says CPS picked her up because she's been found, not away from her dad. Child services is different from jail. It's just like just people that do the child services work. Okay. That could be true. Nana Lana says maybe they're just saying he's not in trouble, so he will bring her home. Could be. Shad Hunter said, I knew some kids 16 and 18, and now they have 3 kids and are great parents. Whoa, Shad, slow down. I don't think they have any children, buddy. Are you telling them to have children on the run? No, I'm just kidding. Marilyn Lander said, attractive kids. They're very, very pretty couple, aren't they? Very, very, they look like your typical Midwestern college, high school students, like something you'd see in a Disney movie. They really do look like that. Marlene Clausen says, I've been watching the Adnan Syed and the Haymin Lee murder. Yeah, that's a very interesting case, that one. All right, let's go get you. What time is it? All right, we can have one more story and then we got to go. We can have one more. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. I hope you've had a bit of fun, interesting stories. There was actually an interesting story, but I don't want to read it. It's very sad. And it's just too sad to read on this channel. I'll read the headline, but we're not going to read it on this channel. Where is it? It says, California mother drowns disabled daughter, leaves rotting body in bathtub for days. It was on my list, but I don't know. It seems too awful to read. Let's read about this bolo of David Schultz. If I can find it. Here. Says here, DCI joins case of missing SAC trucker. United Cajun Navy takes point on search as officials stay mum. The Iowa Department of Criminal Investigations has taken up the search for David Schultz, a Wall Lake man who's been missing for more than a week. Iowa DCI will assist the Sac County Sheriff's Office and the Lakeview Police Department in the search for Schultz. Authorities made no further comment on the status of the investigation. There's a photo of him there. Schultz left his family home on the evening of November 20. He was scheduled to pick up a load of pigs from Eagle Grove and deliver them to Sac City. However, he never made it to his destination to pick up the next load. His semi-truck was found at 71 north of Old Highway 20 between Sac City and Early, but he was not found with it. The truck was found unlocked, parked in the middle of the road, and the trailer was still full of livestock. It was identified that Schultz's cell phone, wallet, and cash were in the truck. His coat was located in a nearby ditch. An investigation was started, and dogs as well as planes with thermal imaging assisted in the search. Family, friends, and community members gathered to help the search in the vicinity to where the truck was located. Search parties started west of Highway 4. Rowley started leading the search parties Friday. A total of 150 volunteers with a dozen horses canvassed the area in Wright, Webster, Calhoun, and Sac counties. Wow, that's a huge search party. The Iowa Department of Criminal Investigations made the call to step in Monday, and that will change the way we approach this situation from now on out. We will treat ourselves as an asset to them if needed, but we will allow them to be in charge and make the calls needed to bring David home. Schultz is approximately 5'11", 180 pounds. He has brown hair and eyes. He was last known to be wearing a Wrangler blue jeans, cowboy boots, and a Peterbilt hat. Sarah Schultz said she last saw her husband about 7:30 p.m. Monday, according to an interview in the Sioux City Journal. She was informed on Tuesday morning that David was supposed to transport a load of feeder pigs from Eagle Grove to Sac City, but they never arrived. She called her husband repeatedly Tuesday morning but got no answer. A GoFundMe was set up to help the family as the search continues. Any information regarding Schultz's whereabouts can be reported to the Lakeview Police Department on the phone at 712-657-2513. I hope if anyone lives in this area that listens to the show, if you see this fella out there, you give him a hand. Get him home to his family. I'm sure his family are worried sick about him. Yeah, right? His car was there, the jacket was in the ditch, and the livestock was still in the back. That's very bizarre. Hey, Kathy Lynch, glad you could make it. Gambler says, I've been avoiding most news lately. Hey, Gambler, good to see you, buddy. Glad you could be here. Guys, give me 2 seconds. I just want a drink. Hold on. By the way, we spoke about the basketball phenom, Josh Giddy. There's an investigation by the police department that has now opened up about his alleged sexual contact with a minor. They have now opened up investigations in 2 police departments, trying to work out exactly what is truth and what is fiction. Let's have a look. Let's see. I saw an update 1 hour ago. It says here, California detectives are pursuing all leads and evidence in their investigation of an Australian basketball star, Josh Giddy. And it says, yeah. It says police investigate claims Thunder's Josh Giddy had relationship with underage girl. Newport Beach police look into an allegations surrounding the OKC player. It says Giddy 21 was booed aggressively by opposing fans on Tuesday. There's a photo of him. Police in Newport Beach, California are looking into the allegations that Oklahoma City Thunder player Josh Giddy had an improper relationship with an underage girl in their jurisdiction. A series of photos and videos were shared online last week alleging that the Australian had engaged in a sexual relationship with a minor. The police said, we have information and we're looking into it. We're investigating whether or not a crime has occurred. The NBA said on Friday through a spokesperson that it had opened an internal investigation into the case. Giddy, who turned 21 last month, has declined to comment on the allegations. He said, I understand the question, obviously, but there is no further comment right now. And he said, I get the question, guys. I completely understand you want to know about it. Just for right now, I don't have anything to say. Oklahoma City coach has declined to discuss the issue. He says, I'm not going to comment on anything as it relates to Josh off the court. So they're sort of putting up the brick wall, apparently. So now the police are involved. Before it was just online rumors and a few TikTok videos, but the police are definitely having a look into it. And if he really did, we'll find out. If he did commit a crime, he'll be charged over it, I guess. Someone said that there might be Romeo and Juliet laws that protect them, but you'd have to find out, one, if that actually exists in that part of California, or if they were even in the right age range for it to be a thing. Sean says, the allegations are damaging for him. Endorsements will dry up. Very much so. I think for such a superstar who was going to be the face of the NBA, this could definitely ruin his career for a while. All right, I think we'll wind up for the night. My stomach's starting to get hungry, and I need to go eat lunch. And I need to feed these guys too, the cats. I didn't hear anything go off during the show, so I don't need to check that. But I appreciate everyone being here and for supporting the stream, for subscribing. Thanks to all the new subscribers. I very much appreciate it. And we'll be back tomorrow night for another show of Nights with Ping. Thanks to Moonlight View for moderating. I appreciate it. Thanks to everyone for being in the chat. And to the replay crew, thank you all for leaving a message. I appreciate when people do, and it's fun to talk to people that I don't get to talk to during the show. So, good night, everyone. Until tomorrow night. See you later. This is Ping signing off. Good night.